sports at all? Like, I don't even know if we've
Of
been
course.
doing that. Have we been doing this? We haven't done it at all. Like,
I got hot.
I don't really know what to talk about with sports because all my teams are all jacked up right now, so I don't really know what to do. Um, the Browns are browning, right? And I don't know if Baker Mayfield's the truth or not. I really don't, but he's what we got. He dr-
I'm
he. I'm pretty
pretty clear on
convinced
that.
that he doesn't need to be, but he's who we got.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have a pretty clear understanding on that matter. And no, he's not the truth. Serviceable, yes, if everything works correctly. And it sounds like Miles Garrett was saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. Uh, we need to take another break. My son is wailing, and unfortunately, I'm the only one that can put him back down. Can you give me
and you did that.
and learn?"
Hopefully, I don't have to do that, right?
Hopefully you either take care, you take care of your son, you take care of other people, you take care of people one way or another, whether directly related or not. So, you know, who knows? You've been taking care of your grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure uh, some of those things can be similar. Not to say that women, the elderly and babies are the same. I'm just saying, sometimes they can have similar ailments.
Let's be honest. Benjamin Button ain't that far from the truth, right? So, like, when we peak from 18 to 49 or whatever you want to call it, as we get older, we start to go back towards adolescence and a little bit more towards toddlerhood. Old people, they don't really care about nothing. They're stuck in their ways. They're very
They
stubborn.
want what they want.
They want what they want. They want it now. And the only difference between them and Tyler's is like, I'm 86 years old. You gonna tell me I can't have some ice cream? You know what I mean? Like that's like, and what are you gonna say? Like I want ice cream. Well, we don't have any ice cream. We'll get some ice cream. We ain't got no ice cream. Well, I can't go get it. Right.
Because I gotta go get some
Thank
ice
you,
cream.
little Johnny, which is spicy attitude.
Uh, oh yeah. But anyway, back what I was saying before, because I don't want to get this point. We were talking about the Browns, and I don't know if as they're currently situated, Baker is enough for them to succeed. He's not going to be the cause of their success, but he's enough. But I worry about the other things, like the defense. Miles Garrett was talking about versus the Patriots. He was like, we were out coached. I don't know if he said that exactly, but his intention, though, he was saying that they didn't make any adjustments, which everyone assumed was their coaching staff. Our coaching staff didn't make any adjustments throughout the whole game, and he was like, they scouted us really well because they knew our weaknesses, and they just kept exploiting that.
Right.
It sounded like he was upset with our coaching staff's his team's preparation
Right.
versus New England, which is the gold standard. So
Which is a gold standard, especially when it comes to coaching. And Bill
and
Belichick
preparation.
do more with less than anybody, right?
Yeah,
Like, besides having Tom Brady, a lot of times he was MacGyvering a whole lot of stuff
I mean,
on those
that's
teams.
what you think those videotapes were for. They
Right.
were just taping them for no reason. They was
Right.
using that.
We need this. Okay. But yeah,
I need to know their plays. I need to know what they're doing, what they're calling. I'm gonna tell it all to you the week before.
like the thing with the Browns is our secondary can never be 100% healthy. I don't think they've been 100% healthy since they've been drafting these so-called studs. Because they've had a
Ward came back, got an interception for you last
Ward
week.
King.
Took it to the
Yeah,
house.
we run a defense where we have five corners out there. So what I'm saying is, he is one of them. We got like three or four that are really old and a couple that are really young, and they're just the young ones just aren't ready. A couple of the young ones can't get on the field, and then we are designed to have a pass rush that will get to that. But the problem is we're not stopping the run. So people just do whatever they want with us, right? They've had it to where either Miles Garrett is going to feast or it's going to be famine, and that's it.
Right.
Him and Clowney are just going to do whatever, and then that's going to be it. And if they decide to key in on them, then we're exposed, and it's sad. Baker, the problem I have with Baker is not that he's mediocre, right? I don't mind him being mediocre. I mind him thinking he's not.
You said, there you
Right?
go.
Like Kirk
I
Cousins
would
is
put
not
him as
out
above
here.
average. I put him at 60% above average.
Still mediocre, right? Like let's say middle 15, right? Like anywhere from number 10 to number 24. Like Baker's somewhere in there, right? Not even as low as 20. He didn't have to be that low. But he's not elite, right? But he takes elite chances. He has elite stuff, right? If he was a pitcher, he'd have elite stuff, but he wouldn't be always hitting his corners, right? Like that's who Baker is, and I would love for his bravado to match some of that sometimes, but a lot of it is just it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I completely understand. The deep thinker in me thinks that somebody who is as talented as Baker, meaning not to say he has a lot, but just his collection of talents,
Mhm.
in order to maximize that, he may have to be that cocky or feel that or
Oh
try
no,
to
no, I agree
project
with.
that in order to get it popping as much as he can get it popping because it feels like he's an overachiever. Uh,
No, no, he's definitely an overachiever, which is okay, right? I don't have a problem with that, except for the simple fact that if that's the case, then he has to at least think he's the best guy in the room, and you can't win like that because he's not the best guy in the room, right? Like with football, you got to have guys. You can't just have just dudes out there. You got to have guys. Like you got to have Odell Beckham. There has to be one or two of them on your team.
I
The
felt
one
like
we got is Miles Garrett. That's it. Nick Chubb, maybe. Nick Chubb. I'll give Nick Chubb that. Yeah.
he spent the entire OBJ experience trying to prove that he
He didn't need
couldn't
to
win.
throw it to
He
him.
didn't with them.
Right. And like, I feel like OBJ got a bad rap because OBJ was open a lot. And when he wasn't open, he was doubled, which is why people like Rashard Higgins can get the ball and look fantastic, right?
Right.
Because I think Bomani said like as soon as Odell was gone, and they started throwing to people, 3 catches for 28 yards, 2 catches for 11 yards, 5 targets, 0 yards for everybody else. Like nobody's getting nothing. Your leading receivers are your tight end and I think Kareem Hunt.
I mean, yes, but don't forget his top receiver Landry's been hurt most of the year, so I'll give you that. But Landry's been
Landry's just
hurt,
number two. That's the problem. Landry was supposed to be number two. That's the problem.
but he was number one before OBJ, and he was number one during OBJ. He's his favorite receiver. Everybody got their favorite. Cooper Cup, I don't think is the number one wide receiver in LA. He's not.
No, Robert
He
Woods
does
was
a lot of
Robert Woods is
yeah.
hurt, so he's gonna play. Yeah.
Well, Cooper Cup is running the slants, but Cooper Cup has always been the one getting the most catches.
Yeah.
So it, it, yeah. Um, I forgot my point. Landry, but here, Bomani did say that he heard OBJ was running his own routes, so that could explain the issues. Baker's short, and
Right.
he's
He can't
it's
he
not
can't
like
see all that. Right. I give you that.
he's got to go where he expects people to be, and if you're not there to play at his level, he's got to be able to read
You should be able to read the
know
defense to see
read
that
the
there's
defense,
an
and
opening somewhere and that somebody of OBJ's caliber is going to get there.
if he runs the right route, he expects, he's looking at his routes. He expects you to be here, and he's looking there. He's
Right.
got, that may be part of the issue. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's another level, right? Like that's the stuff that Brady had with Gronkowski, that Rodgers has with Devontae Adams, like stuff that they had where you go on a route, your route is a post route, but whoever is in the secondary there is playing that to where you're supposed to go, so you play under it so you can be open, or you play above it so you can be open, and you should be able to see that. But that's what Baker's not seeing, right? Because
okay.
I keep seeing, but I'm not, and that's not his fault completely because that's not an easy thing because you do all that in a split second. That's the stuff that
Yeah.
separates, Breeze, Manning, and Brady and Rodgers from other people because they could do that.
Well, also, but they have trust in their like they
Right,
have a relationship. They trust their receiver. They know
right,
he's going to make that when he sees
right,
this, he may do this. He
right.
sees, they've either played enough or they've practiced
Yeah,
with each other enough, or just
yeah.
experience to know to have
Or
that relationship and that trust. And it don't seem like they had that.
or you just read the defense and you see where they're going. If you see where they're going, you're going to see where the pockets are, right? So if your receiver's not there and he's where the route is, you can tell that route will be covered, and you can't necessarily throw him open depending on what the
Right.
defense is being played. But you have to be able to see that. Being short makes it hard, right? It makes it hard, but that is that next step, right? That is that next level. It's like, okay, I can read him off, okay, or I can throw him open because they're going to play this and he'll be open right here. Everybody can't do that, which is why everybody ain't got rings, right? And some can do it, and then some just throw pretty balls. Like Marino could do it, but he just didn't have enough help. But a lot of them can't do it. Your top fives are the one to do it. Russell Wilson, get out the pocket. He made different holes and routes for that. Drew Brees did the same thing. That's the stuff Baker's going to have to do. He's going to have to extend the play and try to find those pockets where he can get the ball where nobody else is going to be. But that's going to he doesn't scramble enough, and I think it's weird sounding, but I feel like he has to make those lanes. It's like he tries to play quarterback like he's 6'6".
The problem I think sometimes with him is he doing too much. He like you said, he thinks he's 6'6". Even when he scramble, he gonna try it. Yeah, what did he get hurt with? He got hurt trying to tackle somebody after an interception.
Right,
The
right,
guy ran him over, and now he's
right.
over there hurt. It was like Tom Brady wouldn't have been anywhere near that.
Mm-mm.
You know, I saw Teddy Bridgewater apologized. I don't know why he apologized because I mean I kind of get it. In the Super Bowl, Cam should have dove for that ball. Teddy Bridgewater with two ACLs. He doesn't need to be doing anything extracurricular.
Right.
As the quarterback,
I don't
I
know.
didn't think he needed to apologize. It was funny.
Right, right,
It's like, what are we doing out here? Just like when Tom Brady throws it into the dirt at the immediate hint of pressure. It's like it's
right,
funny, but
right. What do you call
I
it?
understand.
Turtling? He turtled up.
Yeah, like, sometimes you got to protect yourself if you want to play another day. And
Yeah,
if the team is willing to says your skills are worth making that trade off, then that's what you have to do.
I
So
mean,
I'm
I
not mad
guess,
at it.
and I mean, football players make a living um,
At
trying
least quarterback.
just football players, period. Because a lot of those quarterbacks play more than one position, at least in high school, right? Because a
Yeah,
lot
they're
of times they're
football
the best
players.
athlete on the team, and they spend their whole life being tougher than they're supposed to be, right? They play with a whole lot of pain, and it's just pain they don't talk about, and when they retire, you saw ballers with the Rock, and all them cats are on pain meds the rest of their life, right? Because they wake up with headaches that are excruciating, like migraines that they never had before. They're sensitive to light, you name it. They got all kinds of crap going on, and they do it just because they want to go out there and get hit, and they're a tough guy.
Right. But I'm saying the quarterback is the head of the team. Sometimes you got to protect the bag. Michael didn't have a lot of fights in the NBA because his teammates realized we got to protect the bag. So somebody else is going. He got the enforcer to come in. You got your, your Rick Fox, which is the most hilarious enforcer I've ever heard. But
Uh,
you got your Oakley.
Nothing wrong being a pretty enforcer. Sometimes you need a pretty enforcer.
I
Drake do some push-ups, man. Drake could be an enforcer too.
it's somebody else to fight their fights. Maybe they could, maybe they couldn't. But I'm saying this is the most important part of the team. They're going to elevate us. They're the bag. We got to protect the bag. And even the other players in the NBA know he's getting raising all our salaries. We kind of have to protect the bag.
Yeah.
So with the quarterback, I understand that.
So you talking about enforcer? Who do you think was the last enforcer type that was in the league? Because it doesn't exist anymore. Everybody's got to have a skill set of some kind.
Well, I know it's shocking to you, but Udonis Haslam is still on a NBA roster. He just doesn't play.
Yeah, but he got a baseline jumper. So
No, I'm saying he's like a coach now. He's
yeah,
not really. He's just like a legacy position, a player coach kind of deal. They're just keeping him on the roster.
I mean,
Uh,
I think that's where they were going. Now to think about it, because the person I was thinking about was Kendrick Perkins. That was the last
Yeah.
enforcer, and he was honorary coach person who suited up every now and then on the roster. Jared Dudley had that same title, even though he had a little 3-stroke, but he was doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I'm gonna be the player coach and your spiritual advisor.
It's just hard for me to consider Jared Dudley an enforcer. He may be, but he looks too goofy for it for me.
I'll
So
give you that. I'll give you that. But I think those are the lines. Udonis Haslam and Kendrick Perkins. I think that was your last enforcers.
yeah,
That was it. I guess you can
I
count
can't think of
Draymond
any
Green, but he ain't fighting people. He's just kicking them. But
right. Maybe he thought he was back when he had the KD Steph days, but I think after KD stabbed him in the back, you feel like he ain't gonna enforce for nobody. Maybe he'll still do it for Steph. Maybe Steph and
yeah,
Clay. Maybe he still has loyalty for them.
maybe. Well, shoot, let Clay tell it. Clay enforcing now.
But okay, okay.
Clay said, "Look, I ain't top 75. Y'all don't think I'm top 75, my guy?"
You know, I think if he had been hurt the past 2 seasons, he definitely would have got it. If he continues to play like he did, like he has
It's
been. He's like,
so tricky, right? Because like it's so tricky when we look at these all-time greats and we look at how good they are because they were next to someone who was like top 5 all time, right? There's that argument for Scotty, right, where people are looking at
mhm.
he's fringe, but Scotty's there because he's second best player on that team. This is what it was, right?
But
Yeah.
he was good at it. I don't understand Bomani's. I, let me ask you this: do you think Scotty should be in the top 75?
75, yes. I think 50 was a maybe, right? But at that time, it was so hot.
In
Like
'92, yes. Well, okay, I'll give you that. I'll
yeah,
give you that. But I'm
I,
saying, do you think he is one of the 75 greatest players now? Would you?
I think
Is
so.
he
I,
solidly in
I,
there?
I, right there in between 70 to 75. He's right there. I'd say because that point
Really?
forward thing is one of those things, and I think an argument can be made for Lamar Odom, right? No, it's because it's similar, right? He
Wait. What do
inconsistent.
you mean? An argument can be made for him for the
No,
75?
no, not for 75, but for being that much similar to Scotty, right?
Oh yeah, I'll give you
Where
that.
also, if you make him the best player on the team, he can't do it, right?
Okay.
Scotty had that same issue. Scotty was the best player on the team. He'll get numbers, but he's just kind of there, right?
I mean, he did do it 1 year. He was on his way to doing it.
He did it 3 years, didn't he?
Well, I'm talking about being. He kind
He
of
was
did
the
it one
man
and
in
a half.
Portland too. I
Really?
mean,
He was
whether he was
one
or
of
not,
them.
he
He
was
was
the lead. He was the
older.
lead dog, though.
I think he was the captain,
Right.
but I'm not sure if he was the. Just take a apologize for the delay, but uh, he was. I think Rasheed Wallace was. He was a little bit older. I don't think he was the guy. He may have been a captain, an elder statement, but he wasn't the guy
Because that
on
was
that.
the Scotty, Bonzi, Cliff, and Rasheed team, wasn't it? And Zach Randolph, young Zach Randolph.
It might have been the Jailblazers. Did they have Damon?
I think so. I get fuzzy in that time because I can't remember if Damon was there too, or Damon had already transitioned to Ronald with Marcus Camby. I don't remember. I can't
Yeah,
that time is fuzzy to me. I can't remember completely without using my Googles, and I'm not going to do that right now. But
it was a bad time for the NBA. Well, was that time a bad time? I think it was
no,
after
not
that.
not
Anyway,
really.
no.
No, it wasn't a bad time. I mean, people call it like the Dark Ages because we didn't really know where everything was going. But that was the ascendance of Kobe and Shaq, right? The Tim Duncan, Kobe, and Shaq bridged the gap between Jordan and LeBron, if you want to say it like that, right?
It was the dawn of the Leastern, where the Leastern
Oh
Conference,
yeah, yeah.
where they
Oh yeah, no,
were
definitely
garbage.
that, definitely. But
And you didn't think they were
but
ever going to win.
the basketball was great because you had two dynasties that were being born at that time. That Lakers dynasty and that Spurs dynasty was born in that time after Jordan.
Yeah,
Because the Spurs won in '99, right? The lockout year.
yeah, they did win
And
it.
then And then
Lakers.
Lakers Shaq was 2000, 2002. And then I
Yeah.
think the Spurs won in '03 and '04.
No,
No, they never went back to
Spurs.
back but one time, right?
They never won back to back.
It was never back to back.
Ever.
This is five. This is five of them total. Okay, never back to back. I got you.
Yeah. So it was three Lakers, then it was Detroit, then the Spurs,
Right.
then the
And the
Heat,
Spurs, because the Spurs
then
beat Detroit. I got you.
I forgot who it was after the Heat. I think it was
And
the
the
Spurs
Heat, Spurs again. They beat the Nets.
again. They beat Cleveland.
That was '06. Okay, yeah, yeah. Got you.
They beat the Nets their second championship. So, oh, I think I'm missing one. So it was
Spurs. So Spurs
no.
first,
So you're
Lakers
right. No, no,
three.
no, no. Lakers three, then Spurs, then Detroit, then Houston, then Spurs again.
Right.
Right? Is that right?
Houston?
I gotta look this up now.
Not Houston.
Who?
You're mixing up Houston.
No, I'm not. Houston never won. Lakers
You
won their three. Then the Spurs. It was either the Spurs won one. The Spurs beat them that year, and they won a championship versus the
Spurs.
Nets.
Okay, Spurs first one was against the Knicks. Then Lakers
Yes,
three. Then
the Spurs second one
Then Spurs second one. Right against who?
versus yes versus the Nets.
Okay, because the Nets went to the finals back to back. Who'd they lose to? Both times. Did
Let's see.
did they
Who
play
did
the
the
Lakers?
Lakers play?
Did they
The
play the
Lakers
Lakers in the
played.
third one?
Yes, they lost
Okay, okay,
to
okay.
the Lakers the
Okay.
third time,
And then
or
they
the
came
Lakers
back and
third
lost to the
championship.
Spurs. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And
There
then
you
the
go.
Spurs came back and lost to the Pistons. Or no, the Lakers, the dynasty Lakers
Yes,
came back.
after they lost, like we gotta get
That's
everybody All
Karl
Star
Malone
we
and
can
Gary
get
Payton. Yeah, yeah,
Hall of Famers.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's what it was. Yep. And then after that happened, the Hall of Famers, Superman went to play with Flash, and Flash got his in '06.
Yes, and then I
And
think the
then
next
and the
year,
next year was the Spurs beat the Cavs. That was '07. That was the LeBron coming out party, and he got to the finals way too soon.
wait, am I missing something? When didn't the Spurs play Detroit in the final?
Yes. Okay, so
Which one was
Detroit
that?
went to the finals back to back. Detroit beat the Lakers.
Okay, so you're right. They beat
And
the
the next
Lakers.
year, Detroit lost to the Spurs.
There you
And
go.
then the next
There
year,
goes Heat.
yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where we go.
There goes Heat. I don't remember who won after the Heat.
The Spurs.
Might have been
The
the Lakers
Spurs beat
again.
those Cavs after the Heat.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And then there was the Lakers dynasty, I think, or
right.
Lakers two.
The Lakers Celtics dynasty.
There you go.
Celtics beat
Celtics.
the Lakers. Lakers beat the Celtics. Then the Lakers beat somebody. Lakers beat somebody.
Orlando, and then they beat the
Orlando.
Celtics.
Orlando that beat LeBron. That's right.
Yeah,
Orlando that
we
beat
got it.
maybe the best version of LeBron. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
because that was like LeBron averaging like 40, 10, and 10. LeBron and Dwight was arguably the best player in the league. Like it was a crazy year.
Yeah,
I think Dwight averaged like 27, like 13 boards, 3 blocks, something crazy like that. And they get the gentleman sweep on the Cavs. Because it would have been a sweep if he hadn't hit that half court bank shot, basically.
oh, I
And
don't
that,
remember that.
yeah, game one, LeBron wins, or game two, I think. LeBron does a like this buzzer beater to tie the series, and then they get drum rolled by Dwight and Jameer Nelson.
So you're saying Orlando won in 5? I thought they won in 6.
Did they? I thought LeBron only won one game, but I don't
Maybe
remember.
so.
All I remember is they were completely outmatched, even though we thought this when we thought LeBron was the man, and then it was like, oh my God, who is Dwight? And then they got the doors blown off of in the finals.
Yeah, I mean that Houston team was kind of gimmicky. I'm sorry, I call them Houston. That Orlando team was kind of, I'm gonna say gimmicky, but it was just different to everybody else. They were kind of like the Houston team of old, where you had
Houston team of
shooters,
old
and all their shooters were tall.
and every
And,
successful LeBron team. Surround your dominating player with shooters.
well, I think those successful. You're right. You're right. Although he's always had he had some hard nosed people. Like Jr. is a shooter, but he's
Yeah.
streaky. Uh, Kevin Love's streaky. They always had one
Mm.
guy on there. I don't even know. Like those last Cleveland teams, who was their who were their shooters? His Cleveland.
Kevin Love, Kyrie. Was it Kyle Korver? Kyle Korver was the year they lost. The year they
He
won,
was there 2 of the years they lost.
right?
But
And
um,
then I keep wanting to say Mike Miller, but Mike Miller was the Heat.
yeah,
Um,
the Heat had some shooters. They had Mike Miller, and Ray Allen.
they had somebody else though. I know they have more shooters. I can't think. Um, did Damon Jones as player coach was on that team. Uh,
Yeah, LeBron.
what's your boy who turned that into $50 million? The Slavic dude, the point guard, Dellavedova.
Oh, Delva. You mean LeBron's replacement?
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
He left.
hey,
Hey,
you
we got
say what you
Delly.
want when he in those
No, no,
finals.
no. You're talking about the
In those,
point guard. I'm talking about Chetty. Chetty is LeBron's replacement.
oh no, I'm not talking about Chetty. Forget that.
You told me, yeah, he got paid as a point guard. He was decent. He
Yeah,
went
well, Dellavedova
on
was
the
decent.
Cavs.
He was just he's just whatever. And he went who ended up paying it? Was it the Bucks? I think it was the Bucks.
Yeah, it was the Bucks.
Yeah. How the
You know,
Bucks always get stuck with those people and then find their way out of those contracts. That's what I never understand.
those type of players elevate under LeBron. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
who's he in Chicago now? Who's that guy? I don't want to call him out his name. He wears a headband. He is Caucasian. You know who I'm talking about? Caruso, I believe.
Oh yeah. That was also LeBron's.
Exactly. I'm saying those cats
That,
elevate, and I like Caruso. He
that is
plays
LeBron's
hard.
Harold Miner. Is who that was.
Yeah, I was mad when Caruso was hitting shots. And he was doing it, me mugging you.
Yeah, and dunking on people. It's like who is Billy Ho? Who is
He looking at you like you didn't think I could make that, did you? And I'm looking at him
No, I
like I
did not.
didn't think you could make that, and you making it. I'm
You didn't
just
think so either, right? Oh my god!
now he looked like he believed. He was like, I'm gonna show you. So he earned my respect. He's been playing. He balls
But yeah,
occasionally.
man, that Orlando team, man, the ghost of Hito Turkoglu was on that team. Didn't
He was good.
he
He was
was
great.
good. He was fantastic. He also turned that into a big contract in Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what he should have.
I think they tried to make him the man in Toronto for a little bit, and it was like, nah, this is it. But yeah, that team was dangerous. Rashard Lewis was on that team
Rashard Lewis
before his downturn.
roided up.
Roided up. He took and then Big Baby was on that team as well.
Was he? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Big Baby was on that team. Yeah.
yeah. So it was an interesting squad. They hit a lot of threes, and if they were on,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have the shooters to match them. Which what happened to Cleveland? Um,
Yeah.
it was just a long
And
series.
they had Skip too. They had Skip Malou on that team because Jameer Nelson got hurt that year. He didn't come back to the finals. I don't think.
He did get to he got to the finals. Okay,
Yeah.
I
So I
watched
think
the
Skip
interview
was
with
on it.
Skip to a little on uh, Vlad, and it was very entertaining.
Vlad TV. Jeez. Continue. Go ahead. Just keep
Oh,
talking.
I was just saying. What are you of the opinion that he puts people in jail? Is that why you
No,
don't
no.
like
I
him?
just I'm just yeah. I put him in that academics category. It's like we gonna talk about this dude. This is what we're gonna do. This is where we're at. I'm just asking.
Okay,
It's
fair enough.
fine. I just asked.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna not do it. I'm just gonna be like, hey, that's what we doing.
Hey, DMX boys, that's what we do. You wrong with this dude? Oh,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Forgive my DMX impression. I don't have it, but I tried. I
Yeah.
tried to give you
Don't worry. We're gonna put this on wax. It's gonna live in infamy. You
something. I'm
know.
sure it will.
There you go. I gave you one. I gave you my own. So we're even.
Yours is very good. I appreciate it.
When I play this back, I feel like it won't be that good.
Cut that impulse. Let's cut it out.
Yeah. What Uncle Joey say? Cut it out. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, cut it. Wait. Cut it out.
There you
Yes,
go.
I used to watch that show on Nickelodeon all the time. I know he said it on, Full House, but I was on Nickelodeon show. I think it was called. I don't know what it's called.
Can't do
Something
that
was it called
television.
Cut It Out? Nah. He had his own show.
Oh, it was called Cut It Out. You're right.
And
You
that's where
are.
he did it.
Yep.
That's where he had that phrase. That's where I first learned about him.
I watched Full House because I was a whitewashed black toddler, and I watched it on Fridays because what else?
Yeah, I know you did. You trying to catch Journey Smollett. I hated Full House. I don't know why. I didn't like it. Now I watched Step by Step. It wasn't because it was, you know, Caucasian. I watched plenty of Caucasian shows. It was 90% of the shows I watched, but for some reason, Full House didn't do it
I
for me.
feel like you saying that is like you saying you got three black friends. Like, like I watch plenty of white shows. It's fine. You know,
Well, I'm
not a big
saying growing
deal.
up when we did, you had to. Well, you
No,
didn't have
and
to,
it's
but I'm
you
saying
didn't
if you
have to,
watched television
but
like I did, you watched it.
exactly. We were raised by TV, and it wasn't a bad thing. I mean, our wives don't agree with that, but we do, right? Like you watch the lineups for stuff. We watch stuff that came on the Tuesday night lineup, the Wednesday night lineup, Thursday night on Fox, Black Night, and then Friday night you get a little extra black sprinkled in with Family Matters, kinda.
And when they felt like it, hang with Mr. Cooper,
Oh
they
yeah.
would drag that in and out. But
Hmm.
I was checking for it.
And then we had the Monday night blackness that kind of snuck in. We didn't realize how black it was till we got older. But you had Fresh Prince of Bel Air and Cosby Show. We didn't realize how black it really was at that time.
Now, which Cosby show are you referring to?
I am not talking about the one where he all of a sudden came back and him and Felicia Rashad living in some apartment in the middle of New York. No, we're not talking about that.
Well, then I'm gonna have to correct you because the Cosby Show was strictly Thursday at
Was it Thursday night? Okay,
yeah,
it's all
Thursday
the
at
same.
8 o'clock.
All right.
And that was that block. Thursday 8, Cosby 9, Cheers, and then at 10 o'clock started with Hill Street Blues. Then it went to L.A. Law.
I
Very
do remember LA
iconic
Law being on that. I do remember that. Thursday night NBC was the stuff, but
before Seinfeld.
I did not really watch it, mostly because Martin and originally The Simpsons were on Thursday night until they went to Sunday. And Living Color was on Thursday night. Then it went to Wednesday night. Then it went to Sunday. I remember
Yeah.
all these things, right? I remember watching like In Living Color and then Roseanne. I remember that specifically because Roseanne was on Wednesdays too, and then Dinosaurs for a very brief amount of
Dinosaurs. They dragged that all over the map.
time.
I will tell you this Cosby Show was 84 to 92. Martin, I don't remember. I know it was somewhere 90 or 91 to before it started when it
Right.
started 6 years run. So after Cosby Show was over, then I kind of transitioned to Martin Thursday at 8. I don't remember how much overlap there was between Cosby Show or if Martin was on at the same time when the Cosby Show was running. I know the Cosby Show won for me during that time, but afterwards I transitioned to that Thursday block, which
And
became
it might have been because Fox tinkered with all kinds of stuff because they were still getting into the game. They weren't exactly sure how they want to do their sitcoms because they were still in that thing where they stopped doing program at 10 o'clock. You know
they're still on that today.
they're still on today. Okay, because they
Today,
had that news came on at 10 o'clock and like 10 o'clock news. But LA Law is on right now. NYPD Blue is on right now. Why is the news on? Right? And they had the only time no they didn't. New York Undercover was 9 o'clock too. I was trying to think of that and I was like, nope, that was
yeah.
not that. But New York Undercover
At the
was that.
Thursday block, eventually it was Martin, and like you said, Living Single, and then You're Gonna Cover.
And
So
yeah, New York Undercover,
that
and
was their
then they
version.
perverted that to Sunday, and they moved Living Single was on there with Married with Children, and then they got real frog and like, you know what, we're gonna take Family Guy and the Simpsons, we're gonna move it to 7 o'clock. Watch what I do to you, right? And it went to 7 o'clock. The experiment failed, which is why Family Guy got canceled before coming back for 37 million seasons of shows. Even though those first seasons of Family Guy were so iconic. I remember because they were just doing whatever. Seth didn't care. Seth was just like, look, they gave me these seasons. I'm put this stuff out here. If it gets canceled, whatever. I'm putting this stuff out here because the stuff that's out now is not as risque as the stuff that came before. Because I think Seth just didn't care, and he's like, I'm going to do something that's somewhere between South Park and Simpsons, and I'm gonna make it work.
I mean, your creativity is definitely going to wane after season. Once you get to 20 seasons
Right,
and plus,
right.
like the I don't even know if The Simpsons is good anymore. I just know I can't do it anymore. Like the first 10 years, I'm with it, and then
Yeah.
after that. I tried, and I don't even try no more. This is going on 30, and I'm just like, it's just not for me.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of grew out of it. I started. It probably started when HBO started doing Sunday night stuff, and
Mm,
I started getting further and further away from it. And the older I got, the more football I watched. So I just didn't really care about 8 o'clock stuff. And I was just like, The Simpsons, all right. Matter of fact, there was times where I used to skip The Simpsons. I watched Married with Children at 9. Like I didn't even, I didn't even watch anything else. And I remember, not Oz, but because Oz didn't do it to where I was like, okay, I'm watching this. Whatever was on when Sex and the City was on in that time frame,
mm.
I started watching more stuff there. And then I realized I was like, oh, I can do other stuff on Sunday nights. And I think I just stopped watching TV on Sunday nights, to be honest. Um, and I didn't really get back into, well, yeah, no, not really. Appointment television stopped being like that for me for the most part. I'd watch stuff here and there, but it was just like DVDs were starting to come out. We would just watch stuff when it would air.
It's so crazy, not crazy, but it's just so weird. Appointment television is kind of gone for everybody now.
Right,
There's still some things, but most people are doing their own thing. We got DV, like you said, we get DVR things. We can watch it delayed, watch it whenever we want it. Nobody
right,
watches anything at the same time anymore, except for sports. That's the only kind of unifying thing
right,
now. It's why they're paying so much for it. So we know we can get you here at this time and show you this ad, and
right.
this many people are gonna see it. So pay us
And I think it's
and do
only
that anymore.
that. It's I don't even think people care about that because I think they would watch that tape too if it wasn't for things like the Super Bowl, right? The,
Well,
the Super Bowl and the orgasm of ads that is makes it to where you need to watch football all the time. Right? You need to watch football when it airs. You need, and of course, the legalizing of gambling, or at least the NFL acknowledging that gambling is done in their sport. Right? Once they did that, it was like, oh, word, bet I gotta watch this game because I'm about to make me a lick.
Oh, I agree with you, and like I will delay a game too, but the difference is like with a show, if you can kind of avoid the spoilers if you want to, uh, and watch other shows or something like that. With these sports, it's hard to avoid if you want to watch other sports. You're gonna see that score. You're gonna hear
Yeah,
them talking about it. So it, but I feel you. You can still delay that too, except for Super Bowl. You want people want some sort of communal thing when that's the only thing. If you want that communal feeling, it's the only thing you can kind of go to get to be sure the majority of people are going to be watching it now.
true, true. Now, I think the real question is, at least for these advertisers, is how do we get these commercials to the people at the game? Because the people at the game, they's paying what $50,000 for a ticket is like a base price, something like that. Those are the people you want to watch these ads. You don't want the people
Well,
that is going to a party with some chips. You want this guy that just spent six figures so him and his son can go to the game once.
well, trust me, they get ads because at least at home we can watch the ads or entertain. There's a lot of downtime there at those games. Like I don't even want to go to Ohio State games anymore. Like I went, I did it. It was fun, but you know the amount of downtime, like it can be, especially in the cold. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'd rather be home. Like at least I can watch the ads. They're entertaining. I don't have to sit the clock. Sitting there shivering. So
Yeah,
they have some ads to play. They definitely do, but it's just a different experience.
yeah. Last week was that Florida State Miami game, and I got a really good friend down here. She's a huge Miami fan. I found this out, and I was like, "Oh, word!"
Wait, what did you just say?
Miami, Florida State.
No, what did you say before that?
It was last week. I said I almost went.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's all.
Almost went, and I was thinking about this. I didn't end up going mostly because of the irritation I had, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, it is November. This is the only place I'd be going is to a Miami Florida State game because we grew up in Ohio. We went to every single football game without really caring about the game that much, mostly for girls, and it was cold as hell. Right? It was cold as hell all the time, and it wasn't even the coldest part of the year. Right? Like we're just sitting here like this with in some jean jacket, which doesn't actually make you any warmer. It's just covering you, right? We all had jean jackets on for whatever reason. It wasn't making you warmer. It's just jeans, right? And we got the what were those little hand warmers that had the little silica in it that would make
Oh,
your hands warm. We used to keep those in our
yeah, yeah.
pockets. We over here like this, trying to stay. It wasn't working, and we would do that for what 3 hours, and then slowly walk out of the stadium to another field full of cars, trying to find our way out of the stadium in the cold.
Yeah, trying to find somebody else's house to go to and chill.
Right. Or
Uh,
drive or what did we do? Sometimes we drove to Beaver Creek to Steak and Shake. So we would go
was
to this
out here.
game for 3 hours in the ice cold, and then we're gonna drive another half an hour away from home to go sit at a really bad diner just because it's open and they'll let teenagers be here late. Right? Like and also I don't want it to be lost on anybody what it's like for 3 or 4 6 foot and taller men in the Geo Metro in the wintertime going to a steak and shake at 11 o'clock at night, right?
Don't blow my spot up. I'm still driving that right now.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, we're not small men, okay? And I don't even want to talk about what it was like for you because you were driving and you got 5 inches on me, all right? But me, I'm in the passenger seat. You know, you saw my knees just like this, right? And I know the people behind us ain't got no room, but we in here, and you out here making sure you got that hand on that window
I
because the
never knew
defrost
how
did
to
not
fix
work the
that
way it
that
was
thing.
supposed to in that car.
I didn't know. To this day, I don't know how that stuff is supposed to work. Like it works better in my car now, but I'm just like, am I supposed to put it on? Am I supposed to open the windows? Or it was yeah, it was jacked up in that one though.
Ideally, you are supposed to match the temperatures on both sides of the glass, which makes it difficult, right? So what you want to do, what the best way to do if it's cold out is to turn the air on first and then transition it to heat. And that usually is supposed to do it. Now, if there's
Okay.
already frost on there, that makes it harder because you have to actually melt the frost. But that's what I have learned is it's easier when you
When you
if
live in
it's
a warmer
fogging up,
climate,
you got to
it was
change.
easier.
Basically, what I do, I see it fog up, I just change whatever I got going on. So if I got the
Gotcha.
heat on and it starts fogging up, oh, turn the air on real quick. It clears up just like that. Then we turn it right back.
Well, yeah, and I actually know the buttons with the at least the button now does what it's supposed to do for the most part on my car. I
Mhm.
don't know what it like you said, like I just explained, and you explained to me what it's supposed to be doing. I don't know how it does what it's supposed to be doing, but
No,
uh,
no.
yeah, that was oh man, it was dangerous. I remember
And
sometimes I'm like, I need to pull over here because I need to figure out what's going on. I got to get this straight, or I'll be looking at the little small crack, like it this below my hand, driving out of that, just trying to see,
oh
okay, this
god,
is the
can
only
you?
clear part.
God, going down US 35 at at 1 a.m. looking looking like that. You don't see anything, do you? Do you see anything? Let me just make sure. Hey, don't touch the radio. I gotta focus. It's all right. I'll turn it back on when we get close to the lights. Because
I'm
35,
driving slow, but I can't drive too slow. I don't want to. I don't want to attract that much
right?
attention. I still
Because
got to go with the flow.
I remember, well, not remember when I was in town last month. I was on 35 at night, and I realized there's no lights on that highway, like none, except for at those little gas stations and those car dealerships. Those are the only lights until you get to like Dayton, like near Woodman Drive. Besides that, there's no more lights till you get to pretty much the Xenia, basically. Oh, small town living. Ever seen a beard so luxurious that you stopped what you were doing, dropped your jaw, and stared in awe at the majestic king who just graced you with their presence? It's fine, we all have. If you're like me, you even want to be that person. And like me, you can. Thanks to the House of Classic Cuts Black Mango Beard Kit. House of Classic Cuts is a company dedicated to helping you have the beard of your dreams. They have a wide line of products designed to help you get that person-stopping, jaw-dropping beard. Their beard butter helps you soften hair, stimulate growth, moisturize your skin, and keep your beard healthy. And it smells great, too, thanks to their signature Black Mango scent. I love using their beard butter myself because that's really all the hair I got left. The top of my head is a little follically challenged. But the hair on my face has grown to be quite the mane, and I'm growing a little attached to it. And because of that, I gotta make sure I put in the things that take care of it, day in and day out. But they also have a wide range of products for men's skin and hair care. Get yourself a bigger, better beard now by clicking the link in my description and using code HOCC at checkout. That's houseofclassiccuts.com. Promo code HOCC at checkout. Don't worry, you won't be disappointed. The House of Classic Cuts is making facial hair all-inspiring, one beard at a time. It's that beard butter, baby. I appreciate the time. I'm going to get off here because I know you have a child to put back down. So enjoy yourself. And as stargazers used to say, keep looking up.
All right, Dashmaster.
Later.